What's going on, guys? It's Dio here, and I'd like to welcome you to another week of MX vs ATV Alive downloadable content showcase presented to you by VerbMoto Gamers. If there's a certain piece of downloadable content that you'd like to skip to, you can use the annotations at the bottom of the screen. Otherwise, let's jump right in. The first piece of downloadable content this week is the Thor Core gear. We got ZebraTech, hopefully I'm saying that right. Red, Livewire, Grid, Dagger. I like Dagger because like Ryan Villapoto wears it, so it's just cool to wear the same gear as like some of your heroes that you look up to. Blue. A lot of the companies, the brands, seem to really enjoy this blue, this kind of cyan look, so it's really cool to see the Thor coming out with it as well. Black. And acrylic. The second piece of downloadable content this week is the Answer Skullcandy gear. It's available in two colorways. You have the red right here. It looks really good. I'm a real big fan of this gear. And then here's the purple. The only thing about this downloadable gear right now is the butt patches don't change. Like, I have the Verb one right now, but when you actually join a race and all, it reverts back to the Red Devil butt patch that the Fox gear had as well. I was actually told that THQ is working on this, and as I'm recording this, the Thor Core acrylic gear actually supported the butt patch. It used the correct one, but the others still haven't. So look for it soon to work right for you. The helmet that came out this week is the Answer Comet Rockstar. You have to go into Answer Comet, and you can tell it has downloadable content by that little black arrow on the right side there. And then it's Rockstar colorway. Looks really good, and I really like that they're releasing real name, backed, sponsored, whatever you want to call it, helmets and gear. It really goes to show what's possible with the game and what they could implement into it next. This week, they released the second pack of goggles and butt patches. The first goggles are the MSLR Assault in a few different colorways. White, red, green, cyan, blue, and black. The second goggles this week are the Thor Ally goggles. There's black, blue, cyan, Livewire, and red. Gonna go check out the butt patches now. These butt patches are awesome. They're the best ones to date in my opinion. You start with DMXS Radio, Epic, go on down here, Mud Dolphin, and then of course my favorite, VerbMoto. The first bike this week is the Honda CRF 450R. Gonna take a look at all the graphics here. Have the throttle jockey 50/50, One Industries Delta, N style paint, the stock Honda graphics, Fusion Graphics tie lube, factory effects, FLU, Decal Works, bike graphics, and 180 decals. Go on over and take a look at the number plates real quick. Stock white, yellow, red, and blue. So just like in weeks previous, I'm going to do a quick little lap on each bike. So here of course we have the Honda CRF 450R. I'm using the Answer Skullcandy gear in the purple colorway. As you can see, that Red Devil butt patch is there like I was saying before. But about the Honda, the 450s, I'm going to be completely honest, I'm pretty unimpressed with. They seem like they have less power than the 250s even, and then they're heavier, so they're more sluggish in the corners and stuff. But the Honda was pretty average for me. It didn't have a ton of speed, and it wasn't great at handling, but it wasn't terrible at either. Like, had pretty mediocre, pretty average speed and handling. Don't get me wrong though, it did feel faster and better at handling than both the Blaze and the Takashi, but it's just really strange. It almost feels as if they have the 450 and the 250 power band switched or something, because the 250 just gets up and goes and moves a lot better than the 450 in my opinion. That's just me personally. And that, I cased that triple, that was all my fault. I was doing a wheelie up to the jump and messed it up, but there's a quick lap on the Honda CRF 450 for you guys. The next bike this week is the Suzuki RMZ 450 MX. Take a look at all the graphics like always. Throttle jockey 50/50. Stock Suzuki graphics. One Industries Delta. N-style paint. Fusion graphics tie lube. Factory effects. FLU, Decal Works, Bike Graphics Elite, and 180 decals. Go take a look at the number plates real quick. We have the stock white, yellow, red, and blue. Now I have a lap on the Suzuki RMZ 450 on Sous Le Pont, I believe it is. The gear I'm running out is the Thor Core Livewire. As you can see, the butt patch again is just the Red Devil one. And as I said before, I wasn't too impressed with the 450s, but the Suzuki was actually my favorite one this week. I know a lot of people will tell me that the bikes are exactly the same, all their stats are the same. If you want to believe that, go for it. It could be true, maybe it is just a placebo effect, but when I play the game, I notice a huge difference between the bikes. So if you want to trust me, go for it. If you want to say all the bikes are the same, then go for that. It's fine. But the Suzuki, it handles, in my opinion, the best, but as you guys know before, I like the kind of more sluggish handling of the earlier Suzukis, because I feel that this Suzuki compares with the other bikes the same way the 125s and the 250s did. It seems a little heavier and slower in the corners, like slower meaning how you turn and stuff, but it comes on the power super hard. I would say this is easily the fastest bike released this week. It has the most power, I can clear jumps easiest with it. It's just my favorite bike this week. And one thing I love about all the Suzukis in the game, the back fender. Especially when you're sitting on the starting line, you really see it, but of course when you're playing in third person, what you mostly see is your guys' back and the back fender. And the back fender of the Suzuki is awesome. Just the shape of it, the way the plastic is made and everything, it just looks really good compared to the other bikes in my honest opinion. The next bike this week is the KTM 350 SXF. It's really cool to have this in here. Obviously not the 450, it's the 350, the same bike that Andrew Short rides, so I think that's awesome because I'm a huge Andrew Short fan, of course. But here are the different graphics on the bike. Throttle jockey 50/50, One Industries Delta, N-style paint, stock KTM, Fusion graphics tie lube, factory effects, FLU, Decal Works, Bike Graphics, and 180 decals. Here I'm bringing you a lap on the KTM 350 SXF on the Stewart Compound South Loop. I'm wearing the Thor Core Grid gear at this point, and again with the butt patch I know it's getting repetitive, but the 350, I know I said I really liked, the Suzuki was my favorite in handling. The 350 I would say has the best handling for everyone else. Like, I think of myself as more slower in the corners and sluggish, that's why the Suzuki fits me. But the 350 feels awesome in the corners. It sticks right in, even at a 0-star as I was leveling it up. This bike just stuck everywhere, it went exactly where I wanted it to. And I assume, of course, that's because it's the 350 instead of the 450. And just like in real life, that's the draw of it. It's supposed to be lighter. You can handle better. You can do what you want. But then in the game, it also has the same drawback. I feel like this thing had absolutely no power. sometimes, you know, you say this bike can do no wrong, or this day I could do no wrong. On this bike, I could do everything wrong. I couldn't do anything right. I couldn't clear any of my jumps, even like that booter right there. I'm doing my normal setup with Clutch Master and Scrub Master, and I usually fly right over that thing. Couldn't even clear that. I had trouble with every single jump on the track. I recorded about 4 different games just so I could get a good one, so it didn't look like I was terrible noob at it. But every single race came out like this. I just couldn't really hit anything. Maybe I was doing something wrong. I'm not above admitting that. But at least in my opinion, the KTM, the lack of power is enough to pull you away from it. The last bike this week is the Yamaha YZ450F. Go ahead and take a look at all the graphics as usual. Have the stock Yamaha graphics, throttle jockey 50/50, 1 Industries Delta, N style paint, Fusion Graphics tie lube, factory effects, FLU, decal works, bike graphics, and 180 decals. Go on over and take a look at the different number plates here. Have stock white, yellow, red, and blue. So here I'm riding the YZ450F. I'm running the Thor Core Acrylic, and as you can see, the butt patch is the Vermoto one like I had selected. Like I was saying, it actually seems to work on this gear, which is awesome. Hopefully it works on the others. And to talk about the bike, as I've been saying, I wasn't really happy with the 450s, and the Yamaha is probably the worst one, which if you want to say it's a placebo effect, I'm a huge Yamaha fanboy, so I don't really see how that would work, but the Yamaha felt like a huge toad. It was, I had a little bit more power than the KTM, seeing as it's the 350, you could actually feel that, but I didn't have enough power to clear anything. My YZ250F would whoop my 450F. Like, I even went back to the 250F just to make sure I'm not crazy, and I ran so much faster lap times. I jumped everything so much cleaner. There was something about the 450, I'm not sure if it's just me or if everyone's having these problems with it, but it didn't jump as far as I needed it to. It wouldn't clear jumps, plus it's really sluggish in the corners. Like, it handles really poorly. I'd say with the speed, it was about the same as the Honda, but going through the levels, the Yamaha, I could not get it to handle. On Kanoko, trying to level it up, it was just all over the track. I had a really hard time staying on it. I don't know, there was just something about the handling on it that I just couldn't get into it. It didn't work for me, and then it didn't have the power to make up for it, which is really strange. The last piece of DLC this week is pretty exciting. It's the Limited Decal Standard Graphics Kit. This works on all bikes, but not the ATVs. Blaze 125. Of course, you can change all the plastic colors on it. Honda CR 125. KTM SX 150. Takashi 125. Of course, change all the plastic colors on it. Yamaha YZ 125. Blaze 250F. You can change all the plastic colors. Honda CRF 250R. KTM 250 SXF. Suzuki RMZ 250. Takashi 250F, and of course you can change all the plastic colors on it. And the Yamaha YZ 250F. Blaze 450F, of course you can change all the plastic colors. Honda CRF 450R, KTM 350 SXF, Suzuki RMZ 450, Takashi MX 450. Of course, you can change all the plastics again. And the Yamaha YZ450F. I know all those graphics, like on the Yamaha 125, kind of look like the 250 and the 450, but each of them were individual enough that I felt I should include each one on their own. And what I'm really excited about with those graphics is the possibility of getting Monster or Rockstar or just anything you can think of on your graphics kit. Thank you for watching this week's Verb Moto Gamers MX vs ATV Alive Wednesday downloadable content showcase. I know it was pretty long, but there was a lot of material to cover and I didn't want to rush it, so I hope you guys understand. Of course, this has been Return of Dio, and I'll see you guys next week with another showcase of MX vs ATV Alive downloadable content.
For daily motocross pro and am coverage, be sure to log on to verbmoto.com, and if you like us, prove it.